Alright guys, Mr. B here. Today I'm going to walk you through how to replace the thermal paste on your Xbox One game console. It's going to be a complete teardown and reassembly guide. So this usually will fix your common overheating issues, your loud fan noises, unexpected shutdowns, and anybody can do it. If you got general knowledge of how to use common tools, you can do it. It's not that hard. And I ask that you guys please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. Check out my other channel called Ask a Felon. But with that being said, let's get into it. You're going to need a Torx screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, a plastic pry tool, or you can use a flathead if you're very careful. Thermal paste. Don't cheap out on a thermal paste, guys. You want to get good thermal paste. You can get a good tube for under $20. So go with the good stuff. And you're going to need some alcohol and cloth. Why you want to replace the thermal paste? Because the factory paste dries out. That's what causes the most common issues of the red lights to death, the blue lights to death, things like that. It's caused by poor heat transfer. Dried paste can't properly fill the microscopic gaps between the APU and the heatsink, so it causes poor heat transfer. Common symptoms include loud fan, overheating warnings, and just random shutdowns, and that's due to poor cooling. It restores the cooling performance when you replace the thermal paste. Here's the tools and materials you'll need: a T8 and a T10 security bits required for Xbox One, plastic prying smudgers, a Phillips screwdriver. Again, high quality thermal paste, guys. Do not cheap out. Don't buy the white thermal paste. You want some that's gray, actually. And some 90% rubbing alcohol, lint-free cloths or coffee filters that work just as good. And you might as well go ahead and get you a compressed can of air so you can get the dust out of the system while you're in there. What you're going to want to do, make sure you unplug the power cable and all the other cords to it. You want to remove the hard drive cover and the hard drive. And then you're going to work on a static-free, well-lit, clean surface. If it helps, you can photograph each step for reassembly reference. But I put this together for you guys so you can take screenshots of this. I've went into great detail on how to do this. So I feel like I put it together where anybody can do it. And all I ask in return is subscribe. You're going to remove the screws. There's 7 screws total. You're going to pry open the rear vents. And then you're going to release the plastic clips. You're going to work around the edges gently. Don't try to get a couple popped and then pull it off. You want to go work your way around. And then you're going to separate the cover. Next, you're going to disconnect the cables by unplugging the disk drive ribbon cable, the blue one shown there. Do not pull on the cables. You got to release the locking tabs first. It's self-explanatory. When you get in there, it flips up and you'll be able to pull it out. Remove the disk drive. That's 4 Torx 10 screws. Then lift the Blu-ray disk drive straight out. Remove the Wi-Fi module, which is pictured there. Number 3. Unhook them, disconnect the antenna cables from the module, and then remove the single T8 screw. You're going to set aside the connectors. Again, take a picture or you can take a screenshot of this. I think this screenshot will help you more than taking a picture, but to each his own. Next, you're going to detach the power supply unit. Remove the 2 to 3 Torx 10 screws securing the power supply unit bracket to the chassis. Disconnect the power supply unit to motherboard power cable. Lift the PSU unit out of the chassis and then set that aside. Again, guys, take pictures. You can just take screenshots. You're going to remove the next you're going to remove the T8 screws around the RF shield. You're going to lift it off. Then you're going to expose the internal components. The motherboard, the fan, and the heatsink assembly are now exposed. Remember, pay attention to your screw holes. Next, you're going to remove the fan and the heatsink assembly. Disconnect the fan power cable, so unplug that as pictured, circle number 1. Remove 4 spring-loaded Torx T8 screws. Use a Torx T8 screwdriver to loosen the 4 spring-loaded screws in the X pattern. You guys don't want to just go from 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to do it in an X pattern. 1, 3, 2, and 4. And then loosen gradually in sequence to release even pressure and avoid warping the board. Then you're going to unscrew the fan mounting screws. There's 4 of them. And then you're going to lift the heat sink straight up. Next, you're going to clean off the old thermal paste. I'm sure by now, if you're at this step, you can see why you need to replace your thermal paste and how it has an effect on making it overheat. You're going to wipe off the old paste. Make sure when you guys clean that off, you want to get that spotless. As in that, you can see in that picture there, it may have a little residue, but as long as it's not chunks of stuff on there, you just want to get it to clean the best you can. Don't skimp on that either. Clean the heat sink, and then use lint-free cloths or coffee filters because if you use paper towels, they're going to leave little fibers behind, and that's not going to be good. And then you're going to let the surface dry completely. You're going to apply a small pea-sized amount or rice grain dot in the center of the APU. Do not overspread it. The heat sink pressure will spread the paste evenly. So don't try to spread it with a card or a squeegee or anything like that. Just put a pea-sized amount right on there, and when you put the heat sink back on, it'll apply it evenly. You don't have to worry about it. The pressure will do it. Avoid applying the heat sink side. Don't do it to the heat sink. You just put it on the APU itself. And then you reattach the heat sink and fan. And then you guys just go back and you put it back together the same way you took it apart, which I've included pictures here for you. So feel free to take screenshots. And once you get it back together, you're going to plug it in and test it. And I'll guarantee you it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be fixed. If it's completely broken and you can't even get it to power on, I guarantee you this right here will fix it. If it's actually no power going to the system, it's probably your power supply unit. But you can order them online, and then you see how to take this apart to get access to the power supply unit. So there's not really a whole lot that needs to be done. It can be intimidating, but like I said, I've done hundreds and hundreds of game systems. I'll be posting videos on how to fix the disk drive issues too. For the Xbox One, I'll be doing it for the PlayStation 3s. I even got videos I'll be posting for how to restore the original Nintendo Entertainment System. So please hit that subscribe button, and then while you're at it, go check out my channel. It's my personal channel called Ask a Felon. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope you learned something. Till next one, see ya.